If you're watching this, you're probably a guy who's been trying. You're not one of those people that says, oh, I'll start Monday, and then you just never start. Like, you're a guy who actually has started putting in effort, but it just feels like no matter what you do up here, your body is just lagging behind. And honestly, that's a really frustrating point to be in, because I'm talking about the people who actually go to the gym, who want to eat better, who want to be disciplined. You're putting in hours, you're putting in sweat, you're putting in work, but you're just not seeing the physical proof of all of the effort that you've been putting in. And honestly, that's the exact person that this video is for, because I used to be you. I wasn't just a shredded genetic freak. I wasn't one of those kids who was just naturally lean and could eat whatever he wanted. There was a reason that I played college football, and specifically I played offensive line. It wasn't because I just came out of the womb and knew how to block people. It was because I was fat, and they put the fat kids on the offensive line, and I always stood there because I was always fat. I spent a decade of my life significantly overweight, and all of the while, I spent the entire time just dreaming about what it would be like to have the body and the confidence and the discipline of all of the fantasy or Marvel or DC characters that I saw when I watched movies. But then I had a breaking point, and that was when I quit college football. I had literally spent my entire life working towards being a college football player. I had put so much value and so much energy and time and sweat and blood and tears into becoming the best college football player that I could have been. And I achieved all of my goals within that. I wanted to win a championship ring, and I did exactly that. But the problem that I found was I wasn't actually fulfilled by that. I'd put so much emphasis on actually reaching my goals that when I reached them, I didn't really know what to do next because I kind of felt a little bit empty inside. And that realization led me to find out what's actually important to me. It wasn't just validation from my peers or from my coaches or on the field awards or even a ring. It's simply just looking in the mirror and feeling very proud of the man that was staring back at me. And college football for a time did that for me. I was proud of what I did in college football, but it wasn't enough. But above everything else, like all of the accomplishments, none of that really matters to me on a grand scale. It's honestly just the daily process of reaching those accomplishments that makes me happy. It's not getting the reward, it's actually earning it. So I ended up rebuilding myself from scratch, from the ground up. I lost 110 pounds, not by becoming some self-development weirdo that wakes up at 4 a.m., never has a good time. I didn't starve myself, I didn't cut out carbs, and I didn't give up every single vice that I had, because that's just not realistic. But I did create a system that allowed me to reach my goals without backtracking and without falling off the wagon like I had done so many times before when I tried to actually lock in and take control of my health when I played college football. And through my own trial and error, and there's a lot of errors that I made a ton of mistakes, I finally created that earn it system because I realized how helpful it could be for people like me, people like my clients, and people like you. People who just want to feel proud of themselves. People who just want to feel disciplined without actually hating your life. Who have fallen off diets before, who just couldn't stay consistent no matter how bad they wanted it or how bad they tried. People who just want to finally lose the weight and keep it off for the rest of their life. But before I actually get into the value and tell you actually how to apply this to your life, this is not for everybody. And I don't want to waste your time, so let me tell you about who this is for. This is for you if you're showing up to the gym day after day or week after week, even month after month, and you're just not getting the results that you know you can get. You've probably tried what's popular, what all of the influencers and fitness gurus have been just shoving down our throats on Instagram. And you found that that wasn't sustainable for your life and for long-term fat loss. You want to lose 20 to 30% of your body fat, that's a lot of weight, and keep it off for life. You want an actual realistic approach that works for real people. Not people who just live in the gym or have all day to dedicate their entire life to fitness. So not cutting out carbs, not starving yourself, you get the gist. And lastly, you'd like structure. You'd like a process that eliminates the guesswork out of the equation and just allows you to put your effort and attention into something that actually gets you results guaranteed. But like I said, this isn't for everybody. So this is not for you if you just want shortcuts, like a magic pill or some sort of magic potion that you drink and magically you're down 20 to 30 pounds. And then just to go back where you started. This is not that. If you'd like to justify cheat meals with, I deserve it, or oh, I just needed it so bad, then this is not for you. This is all about earning them. And lastly, if you're not willing to actually get outside of your comfort zone and change a little bit of your beliefs of what's actually possible and what is required to get in shape, then this is not for you. If you're just wanting to stick in your old ways and never make any changes, click off the video. Now that we got that out of the way, I want to address the biggest self-sabotaging belief that I see so often. It's the, I have to give up everything I enjoy just to lose weight. Wrong. This is exactly why every single diet you've done in the past has failed. It's not because you're weak, it's not because you lack discipline, but because you were told that fat loss equals extreme restriction. You've been told that you cannot have any cheat meals, or you can never eat out, you can never have alcohol, or just know anything that you actually enjoy. And you know what? Maybe you have some decent willpower, and for a few weeks, you were able to sustain that. But in the long term, it just collapses under you. You can only stand on thin ice for so long before it starts to crack. But here's the truth that's not necessarily popular. You don't have to cut out everything in your life that's unhealthy, that you enjoy, that makes you actually enjoy your life. You just have to earn them. So once you understand how to create an actual earn it system around your unhealthy vices and around the things that make you happy, fat loss becomes easy, becomes simple, it's sustainable, and it's long-term. And that's why I created this for myself, for my clients, and now this video for you, to teach you how to do it for yourself and apply it to your unique life. But most people stay stuck for their entire life. They'll lose 20 pounds, they'll put 30 back on. They always start strong, and then a week or two later, they just fall off. But don't worry, I'm not gonna let that happen to you. Because inside of the Earn It system, you're gonna learn how to progressively overload the areas that actually make the difference in losing huge amounts of fat, rather than just going from one extreme all the way to the other. Because the biggest reason that most people fail is they just try to do everything in 1 week. But by creating a system that allows you to smoothly transition over time, allows you to stay on track and build that dream physique and get that dream confidence that you've been looking for your entire life. And you'll set yourself up for long-term success so that you never stop making progress. So let me show you exactly how to do that. This is what absolutely everybody does, and I've seen this time and time again, and I actually lived through this cycle for years and years. It all starts with having low self-belief. And because of that, then you have unhealthy vices to cope with that low self-belief. But the problem with that is that you end up feeling guilty about them. And from there, you really have two options. Option number one is honestly the bad option here. It's where you just drown your guilt with more of that unhealthy vice, whether that be alcohol or sweets or binge eating or whatever unhealthy vice you have in your life. Drowning that with guilt just leads you to have more self-belief, which just creates the process here of infinity, and you never escape this. Now, option two in this instance isn't much better than option one, and that's to make a promise to do better and be healthier, which sounds great. But what happens is you go completely cold turkey. And maybe that works for 1 to 2 weeks. But after that, what you'll quickly realize is that's just not sustainable. And eventually, you're gonna wanna break and have that cheat or have that vice. And what happens every single time is you say, I'll just have one. Or, you know what? I deserve this time. And what that turns into is this feeling of scarcity. And that scarcity leads you to feel like this is literally the first and last time that you're ever going to have this. And what does that lead you to do? You binge. And for me, this was just with binge eating. I lived through this for years and years. And I got away with it because I played offensive line in college. I didn't have to break that habit because it was part of my job to eat like there's no tomorrow. Like I had to be big. But I wasn't big because I ate good foods in excess. I was big because I ate bad foods and couldn't control my eating, but I just got away with it. But then that binge, after breaking that promise that you made to yourself over here, just leads you to have more low self-belief, which now creates this cycle of now you have more unhealthy vices to cope with that low self-belief because you binged and broke the promise to do better and be healthier. And then what happens next? You feel guilty about having those same unhealthy vices to cope. And through this, you can just see like this absolutely just destroys self-worth, destroys progress, and it's a terrible loop to be caught in. No matter whether you take option 1 or whether you take option 2, you're never going to make any progress living like this. And I see it all of the time. So let me introduce you to a better cycle here. It actually starts the same. It starts with that same low self-belief, and you have the same unhealthy vices. You still feel guilty about them. But this time, when we make our promise to do better and we want the cheat, instead of going cold turkey, waiting 1 to 2 weeks, and it not being sustainable and binging, what we're going to do is just earn that cheat. That allows us to enjoy the cheat in moderation. And you can see here, this is me in Vegas having a beer, just having a good time. But the thing is with this method, you're not going to binge because you know that there's more coming. There's no scarcity with this. Because tell me how having a beer can feel like the last time you're going to ever have it if you know that if you wanted one tomorrow, all you'd have to do is just earn it. There's no scarcity. You don't have to feel like you have to make up for the past 2 weeks of going cold turkey and that you have to make up for the restriction of the next 2 weeks that you're going to do because you feel bad about what you're doing right now. And this leads you to feeling proud for having control for the first time. And through that, what's going to happen is you're going to start to absolutely just shred body fat. Now, there's another 2 options here. There's a fork in the road. Option 1 is that we go back to wanting the cheat again, which is completely fine. That's natural. I still want some of the cheats in my life. But option 2 is that we become addicted to this progress. And this is where the earn it system just kicks into overdrive and you realize you don't even want the cheats anymore. This is how you actually break the bad habits. And what does that turn you into? It gets you abs, gets you looking confident, gets you being able to take your shirt off in the gym with a bunch of people around and not give a, can I curse on YouTube? Not give a F what other people think about you in the moment. And just take this picture looking good with your girlfriend, your future fiance, and your future wife. That's the real power of the earn it system. It's not just weight loss, it's confidence. It's feeling proud in yourself. It's having discipline. And honestly, I could talk about this forever, but so many people think that discipline is completely going cold turkey and cutting out all of the things that you enjoy in life. That is not discipline. That's fear. Because you fear so much that you're going to break that what you do is you cut it out of your life completely because you could not control yourself. That's a lack of control. That is not discipline. Being disciplined is earning things. It's enjoying it in moderation. And it's feeling proud for having control, which gets you results and ends up looking like this. So here's the actual practical application. Here's your 6 to 12 month plan that literally took me from this to this in 12 months. It goes through 3 phases here, and I named it after football just because I thought that'd be pretty fun. And it also follows the ways of what it's like being a football player. So phase 1 is you're just a starter. You're just a regular guy who plays on the team. And what you get here is you work out, you get up to 2 earned cheats per week, you track your macros every single day without fail, and you do just 30 minutes of cardio every single week. That's it. And through that, in 30 to 60 days, you're going to lose up to 10 to 15% of your body weight in fat. After that, you'll graduate to all conference, which is, if you're not familiar with football, just a reward that they give to exceptional football players. And in this phase, what you're going to have is a full meal plan for yourself. So not just macros to follow, but a full meal plan. This means at 8 a.m., you eat oats with protein, and 2 hours later, then you have a little snack. Then for lunch, you have this. For dinner, you have that. Maybe you have some little wiggle room here and there. But the full meal plan ensures that you get the progress and actually are able to graduate to the next level. You still stick with workouts. Maybe they go up a little bit in volume, they go up in intensity. But what changes here also is you go from 2 earned cheats per week to 1 earned cheat per week. Now, it's starting to get a little bit more restrictive. You're starting to get a little bit more reward, and you're also going to want to do 60 minutes of cardio per week. So you can see that the difficulty is actually ramping up from phase 1 to phase 2. But here's the kicker. In this, you're going to lose a total of 20 to 30% of your body weight in fat in 6 to 12 months. And after that, you will graduate to the all-American phase, which is phase 3, and this just lasts indefinitely for the rest of your life. So what's easiest to do here and what keeps it the simplest is just to follow a full meal plan. Now, what I do is I follow a meal plan for my breakfast, my snacks, my lunch, and then my girlfriend and I just kind of freeball dinner. We just have whatever seems good on the menu that's healthy, that's high protein, that's lowish in calories. That allows me to actually live my life the way that I want to live it. It gives me structure, it gives me accountability, but it also gives me the wiggle room to enjoy life the way I want to. It's still in phase 3. You're going to stick with workouts. They're going to get harder. Now you have discretionary cheats though. This means that at will, you can have your cheats because through phase 1 and phase 2, you've actually learned how to control yourself. You now have the discipline to allow yourself to have a cheat whenever you want, as long as you earn it. And that's a really powerful thing. And that's what allows you to do these for the rest of your life. And with this, you're also going to want to do 90 minutes of cardio every single week. That's super simple. That is not a lot of movement at all, I promise you. That's just 3 30-minute sessions on the bike or on an incline walk per week. That's it. This is not rocket science, I promise you. But you might be asking yourself, how do I actually earn a cheat here? And this is exactly how you do it. This is what actually cancels it out and allows you to keep making insane progress, even though maybe you had a couple beers or you had a couple slices of pizza. So let me break this down. You're going to start the day off with 30 minutes of cardio. Really doesn't matter what time you do it. I prefer to do this in the morning, just first thing, gets it out of the way, especially if I know I'm going out later that night. Always what you're going to have is 10K steps. This is just a non-negotiable for life. This is going to burn about 4 to 5 to even 600 calories depending on your body weight. So that's an absolutely huge amount of calories and will keep you on track unless you just absolutely go nuts with your cheat. And obviously, if you're on a training day, you're going to have to work out. You can't have a cheat and then not earn it. And lastly, you're going to want to be within 200 of your calorie limit. So if your calorie limit is 2,500, I need you to be under 2,700, including the cheat, and you having hit your protein for the day. The best way to do this is just to log before you eat. Now, I'm not just talking like 10 minutes before you eat it. If you know you're going to go out and have pizza later tonight, log it first thing in the morning. That way, throughout the day, you can actually plan around having that cheat later in the day. And that makes it so simple to manipulate your macronutrients and your calories, your protein, your carbs, and your fats to allow yourself to still hit all of your goals, stay within 200 of your calorie limit, hit your protein, and still have that cheat that you want. And now you might be asking yourself, what is a cheat? Let's break this down. This is anything that you normally feel guilty about. And that's obviously very vague, and that's on purpose. This could be alcohol, it could be sweets, it could be eating out unhealthily. Now, there's a little bit of nuance there. I wouldn't honestly consider eating out and getting a grilled chicken with some rice on the side as eating out unhealthily. That's not necessarily a cheat, that's sticking on progress. Or just really anything else that you would feel guilty about that would cause you to be overweight. That is what I consider a cheat. And lastly, now we have 3 non-negotiables that I've implemented in my life that has genuinely improved it in so many ways. And you're going to have to stick with me here because I know it might seem arbitrary, but I promise you, once you implement these, you will never look back. The number one thing here, I've already touched on it a little bit, is just having 10K steps. This is seriously so simple to do, but if you push it off later into the day, then you're going to have about a 2 to 3 hour walk late at night, which is not ideal. So the best way to get this is just to split it up into chunks throughout the day. So maybe after lunch, you do one chunk, maybe after dinner, you do another chunk, and then maybe after your workout, you do another chunk. However you want to break it up is really up to you. What I do is I typically start my day off with about 30 minutes of walking just first thing in the morning, as soon as I get up, part of my morning routine. And then I'll typically go for about a 20-minute walk on my lunch break. And the reason that I have those 20 minutes is because I meal prep, which is its whole other video idea, honestly. And then throughout the day, I'll get some decent steps. I do work from home, so I kind of just walk to the kitchen, get drinks. I drink a lot of water. I get up to go to the bathroom quite a bit. And those steps really do add up. And lastly, I do a 10-minute walk every time before I work out. It's a super simple way just to get an extra 1,000 steps, and you really don't even notice it. So once you get to 10K steps, you'll realize it's really not that hard as long as you just keep ahead of the game. But if you start falling behind, it actually is kind of difficult. But doing 10K steps is not only going to burn the 400 to 600 calories and make it easier for you to lose weight, it's a very low intensity cardio. So you're not going to get hungry from doing a bunch of steps like you would from running. So it makes it a perfect cardio for you to do on your diet. And lastly, just getting to 10K steps every single day, that's an accomplishment. And it's something that makes you feel proud about yourself. And what you'll learn throughout this earn it system is that the more you feel proud of yourself, the more wins you stack up, the easier it is to keep going. It just builds that momentum that you can ride and actually earn the results that you've been wanting for the rest of your life. Secondly, is just the 5-minute rule. This is a super simple rule that I've implemented in the past, I think about 7 or 8 months ago, and really has just changed my mornings significantly. I have never been a morning person, and I really still am not. But following this 5-minute rule, which is where I get out of bed within 5 minutes of my alarm, only on weekdays, I do sleep in a little bit on weekends, just genuinely improves my mornings so much. And this is for a variety of reasons, but here's just a couple. Number one is obviously I have more time in the morning to work. So it means I can have more time to work on making videos for you guys, working on delivering more results for my clients, and doing things that I want to do, like reading a book. But it's also just like I said with the 10,000 steps, it just allows me to get a quick win that makes me feel really proud of myself because I never want to get out of bed in the morning. I'll be completely honest with you, but it feels amazing after I do. So when I force myself to get out of bed within 5 minutes, it's just the first win of my day. And I can start building that momentum that makes it easier to do hard things later in the day. And lastly, we have neuro loading. And that's a really complicated sounding word, but really all it is just delaying dopamine until later in the day. And what this allows you to do is it enhances your ability to do low dopamine activities like focus at work. So this really isn't even a fat loss thing anymore. This is more just a life productivity career hack. So what this has done for me is really allow me to work harder on making videos for you guys and delivering for my clients and working in my day job as well, because I'm also a software developer during the day. So when I delay my dopamine until later in the day, typically around 10 to maybe noon is when I start doing high dopamine activities, then I can get a ton of work done in the morning. And it's very easy for me to lock in and do things that require effort. So the best way to do this is just to not go on your phone until whenever your cutoff is. For me, that's about 10 to 12, as in noon. And I feel that that's a really good mark for me because I spend my mornings without my phone. The only time I'm on my phone is just to post a quick Instagram story for a little bit of motivation for you guys. Other than that, I put my phone in the other room. I sit down, I read, I work, I walk. It just makes the mornings go so much smoother. And later in the day, you'll find that delaying this dopamine has allowed you to do low dopamine activities. Then maybe what you'll realize is that holy crap, don't want to curse here, is holy crap, I've been so much more productive at work recently. Maybe your boss will start to notice and shoot, maybe you'll even get a promotion from it. Like this things like this add up so quickly and genuinely change your life. So just try these out. I promise you, if you stick to these for just only 30 days, your life will be different. I promise you. And lastly, I just want to show you guys, this didn't just work for me. So I've been working with Max here for a couple months. He's lost about 30 pounds and he's definitely got some more to go here, but I just want you guys to look at this guy's belly and look at this guy's shoulder. This guy's shoulder has absolutely just freaking doubled in size. And this is all while still going out to his girlfriend's parents' house to eat dinner spontaneously. He doesn't even want to do that anymore. Well, eat bad, not go to his girlfriend's parents' house. And he tells me, I'm so addicted to the results from doing this, from earning everything, that I don't even want to eat bad anymore. And that's why this guy is going to see results like this for the rest of his life. And honestly, he's just getting started. And this is my guy, Tim, here. He's also lost about 30 pounds and he has genuinely changed his outlook because before me, I don't think he was really working out. And obviously, he wasn't consistent. And now he messages me all of the time telling me it's just about the process. All that matters is the process. All that matters is the inputs. This is not something that he's just going to do for a couple months. This is something he's going to do for the entire rest of his life. And lastly, this is another guy who still has a little bit of work to go still, but this is my guy Carter, and he's lost about 20 pounds in 10 weeks with me, and he's completely got rid of his love handles. And you can see the chest has significantly downsized as well. I don't want to make him look too bad here. He's been putting in some serious work, and he keeps telling me his biggest frustration and his biggest worry about this program was that just he wasn't going to have enough time. And as a farmer, he was going into harvest season. He's working 80 hours a week, seriously. And he was able to do all of this, lose 20 pounds in 10 weeks. That's an average of 2 pounds per week. That is a serious amount of fat, but it's also a very sustainable rate.
I mean, everything's been going real smooth with this program. It's been real easy to follow. I couldn't have asked for anything better. My bench, I was like 185 for 6 or 7, and I'm at 205 for 8. When we first started, it was, I couldn't even hardly run a mile without stopping.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was a struggle. And then it got to the point where I was doing 20 minutes of running. It wasn't very fast, but it was 20 minutes, together.
Yeah.
But I didn't stop. And like today was my mile, and I ran a 9:24 or something like that. That's getting a lot. It's a lot better than, it was 10:30 something when I started. So
what was it like that really was like, man, like now is the time to like reach out and get started with this?
I just got to a point where, like, at night where you're binge eating and you feel awful about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got to that point and I was like, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
And Caitlin was always telling me, just reach out to Luke. And
there's going to be points like this where it momentarily goes up. And what you have to do is just keep working, follow the process, and I promise you it will go back down again. And same right here. It went up just a little bit. Just keep your head down and keep working, man. That's all you can do is just keep working. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, I deserve this cheat because I've been good. No, you earn the cheat. And that's how all of this works. So now that I've explained the earn it system, let's jump right back. All right, so let's just zoom out for a second. What you've learned so far is very simple. You can lose weight. You don't have to cut out sugar, carbs, beer, or any unhealthy vice. You simply just need a system, one that gives you structure, accountability, clarity, and most importantly, an identity. And that system already exists. It's the earn it system. So look, this isn't a diet. It's not a challenge. It's not a PDF just with macros on it for you to follow. It's a complete identity shift with coaching, structure, and accountability, designed specifically for people who have been putting in effort but just not getting any results. You don't need any more information. You need execution, accountability, and a method that actually sticks for your life. And now, at this point, you have two options. Option number one, you do it alone. You keep grinding in the gym, you keep guessing your nutrition, you keep just hoping that the scale moves, and you keep repeating the same cycles over and over and over again that just haven't worked. The same cycles that have brought you to this video. And maybe, eventually, you might figure it out. Or option two, let me guide you. You'll just plug into a proven system, follow a process that's already transformed lives, including mine, get the coaching, the structure, the accountability, and the clarity to finally lose the weight and keep it off for good. And this option shortens the timeline significantly. It speeds up the results, removes your guesswork, and guarantees that you won't fall back into bad habits. So here's what to do if you're ready to actually take control of your health, your life, and your future. Click the Typeform link below in the description and apply to join the Earn It system. It takes literally just 30 seconds to fill out the application. And if you're a good fit, I'll personally reach out to you and we'll set up a call together. And on that call, we're gonna go through your goals, break down what's actually been holding you back, get down to the root issues, not just the surface level issues that you think is happening. Build you a crystal clear path for the next 6 to 12 months. And if I think you're a great fit, I'll invite you to join the program. And if not, I'll still point you in the right direction. But if you are a great fit for the community and for my coaching, This will be the moment everything changes for you. A year from today, you will look back and think, this was either the day that I transformed my life or the day that you kept putting it off. So let's make the first one true. Click the link, apply, and let's build the version of you that you've been dreaming about for years.